Hi, my name is Lim Li Ching and I coordinate the agriculture work at the Third World Network. We're an international policy research and advocacy NGO based in Malaysia. Thank you for the opportunity to provide our reflections on why agroecology offers the most comprehensive pathway to address multiple challenges and crises. We share this from our perspective as an organization that has consistently been engaging in multilateral governance spaces for over 30 years. Indeed, the world is facing worsening and interconnected climate, biodiversity, agricultural, health and economic crises. The pandemic has further laid bare and deepened the inequities of our food systems. There are systemic flaws and vested interests that underpin these crises and continue to prop up what is essentially a failing industrial, agricultural and food system. So my first point is, rather than tweaking unsustainable food and agricultural systems or just tinkering around the edges, we need to completely transform them, addressing root causes in an integrated way and providing holistic, resilient and long-term solutions. How do we do this? Firstly, we need to move out of conditions that lock in industrial agriculture. This means taking on the tough task of dismantling the incentives and corporate monopolies that have kept industrial agriculture in place. Then we need to undertake structural reform, that is, enabling a paradigm shift from industrial food systems towards diversified agroecological systems. We need policies, institutions and investments that support a transition to agroecology. But why agroecology? This is my second point. Agroecology is an integrated approach that applies ecological and social principles to the design and management of food and agricultural systems. It optimizes interactions between plants, animals, humans and the environment. It includes socioeconomic and political aspects that enable sustainable and just food systems. It has a unique holistic capacity to reconcile economic, environmental and social dimensions simultaneously. We know from the evidence that an agroecological transformation of agricultural systems is the most robust response to protecting biodiversity while promoting climate stabilization, healthy food, nutrition and diet, and systems resilience. There are numerous examples from around the world that conclusively show this, and farmers will be sharing their lived experiences in this webinar as well. Agroecology also supports circular and solidarity economies that reconnect producers and consumers. Territorial markets and short supply chains can enhance access to fresh, diverse and nutritious food, ensure greater value to farmers, and reduce vulnerability to disruptions on international markets. It is thus supportive of food sovereignty and livelihoods. Agroecology provides space for different trade and marketing systems that empower and allow small-scale and peasant farmers, indigenous peoples, women, and rural and urban communities to flourish. During the pandemic, we have seen many such examples of communities coming together, providing food, short-circuiting long supply chains, and building on community-supported agriculture. My third point. Small producers, indigenous peoples and women in particular contribute immensely to agriculture, and the diverse and resilient farmer seed systems and indigenous food systems are key foundations of agroecology. The rights of those who are at the forefront of this struggle and their rights over resources such as land, water and seeds have to be respected, protected and fulfilled. The various human rights instruments and standards have to be implemented at national levels. The current negotiations for a legally binding UN treaty on business and human rights could also play an important future role in reining in corporate excesses. How do other approaches compare? This is my fourth point. So-called nature-based solutions are not equivalent to agroecology. They do not incorporate the full range of transformative changes that agroecology engenders, from ecologically sound practices to social and economic justice to respect for human rights, agency and empowerment. Instead, through carbon offsets to mitigate climate change, so-called nature-based solutions facilitate the appropriation of forests and lands, threatening to dispossess the indigenous peoples, local communities and small producers who are the true stewards of the planet's biodiversity. Finally, We need to operationalize agroecology's principles of respect for farmers and traditional knowledge, and to enable deep changes in governance to foster equitable participation, empowerment and agency of peasants, women, fishers, livestock keepers, farm workers, those who produce and supply our food. Thank you very much.